Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining us in the studio are two ladies from Crisis Connection because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We have with us Talia Myrick. And Talia, you're the Sexual Assault and Education Program Coordinator.
Yes.
Quite a mouthful. What does that mean at Crisis Connection?
So I am half advocacy and half prevention. So half of the time I'm spending working with sexual assault survivors and helping them through the healing process and the court process and everything. And then I also supervise the prevention team, which Renee is on, and help them work on education in the school system and also in the community.
Okay, and then we have with us Renee Williams. And Renee, you're a prevention specialist. What's that?
Well, we do the programming, education programming in schools. We have a couple of programs, Child Safety Matters, Teen Safety Matters, for the elementary and the middle school age. And at the high school age, we promote healthy relationships. And then we also do education in the community. So we have Stewards of Children, which is a child sexual abuse prevention education. And we do parent education. We did a couple parent education Zoom meetings last month, so just trying to get as much education out there as we can to the community.
Which is really the point of having April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, is the more that we can make people aware of the surroundings around them, because a lot of people may not be connected with anything sexually assault concerning, but they may be and don't even realize it. So what is the importance of April as Sexual Assault Month? What do you hope to accomplish or for people to recognize?
So our goal is for people to recognize that this does happen, and it does happen in our community, unfortunately. And we want them to know that support and services are available for them if something like this would happen to someone that they know or happen to them themselves.
And Crisis Connection is an organization, nonprofit, that you can donate to if you'd like to, that exists to help those who have been abused or are victims. I think a lot of times people think, well, the only people that are going to help me are the police, and that may not be the case. Maybe you're not sure what's going on. There's a number that you have.
Yes, absolutely. So our hotline is 1-800-245-4580, and there is an advocate staffed to that 24/7. You can always call for help and support. Even outside of the legal and criminal justice system, we everything that we do is confidential and free. So if you don't want something to be reported to the police, we will not report it unless it has to do with child abuse or neglect.
So if I suspect something, maybe in my neighborhood or with a relative or something, can I call that even though I'm not the victim?
Yeah, you can call us and we can give you tools and supportive words that you can use to talk to that person that you feel like is being abused, and that way you can be a support for them and help get them connected to us.
People are afraid to reach out,
yes,
who are especially victims,
yes,
because they're afraid of the consequences with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we ask that people who might be aware of abuse or are suspecting abuse reach in to those people and help them get connected to services.
Okay. Now, with this being Sexual Assault Awareness Month, the month of April, there is a special exhibit that is being shown at the Tim Clark Cultural Center, which now is a beautiful facility and has great rooms for exhibits like this. Mm-hmm. Can one of you talk about that?
Yeah, so they were kind enough to join forces with us and donate their atrium space so that we can set up, it's called What Were You Wearing? It's a survivor art installation which originated from the University of Arkansas, based on a poem that someone wrote called What I Was Wearing. So the students from the University of Arkansas donated their stories about what they were wearing when they were sexually assaulted. And then businesses, organizations, schools have recreated this event over and over again using clothes from the local community.
Okay, and this will be on display until April 18th, from
right,
the 1st through the 18th.
Yes.
So stop by and see. And no charge, right?
No,
It's
right,
all
absolutely.
Free, yep.
Where is there most sexual assault occurring? Is it youth, older people? I mean, probably older people abusing youth, but I'm sure you go to the high school, so there's probably, you talk about date rape, so to speak, where is it mostly happening? It's a sensitive subject, so I'm not sure how to ask some of the questions.
So disproportionately, teens are affected by sexual assault. Most often it happens when they're in college. 1 in 4 college-aged women will be victim of attempted or completed rape at some point in their life. And It's more than half of them are below the age of 30 when they're assaulted.
Is rape typically, or when they're assaulted, what's the better word to use?
So assaulted would mean attempted or completed rape, and sexual violence is a more broad term, meaning harassment or sexual battery of some kind, unwanted touching, things like that.
What is we hear the most about is somebody, and what we're afraid of is, going through an alley and someone's lurking there just waiting. But
Yeah.
that is not always the case.
Right, that is a myth. Most of the time, sexual assault happens at or near a person's home, and almost 90% of the time with someone that they know.
Ooh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. When you go into the high schools to instruct, I guess, what are you telling kids? What are you telling them to watch out for?
Well, we do a lot of, we use One Love curriculum. We do a lot of healthy relationships, 10 signs of healthy relationships, 10 signs of unhealthy relationships. We try to make it a conversation piece to get the kids conversing of what's going on.
Is there a problem with kids talking to their parents about it?
I would say most of the time they don't talk to their
Right.
parents first. They go to a friend or a peer. So that's where the education is really important. We provide the kids tools with how to respond to those kinds of things and when they need to ask for help from an adult.
There is natural helpers.
Yes.
That is through Crisis Connection.
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay. What is natural helpers? Since we're talking kind of about the high school area.
Right.
Yeah.
Natural Helpers is a peer organization. Again, kind of like what it says, these are students that are nominated by their own peers. Typically, who the students go to for help. As she said, typically they don't always go to their parents or kind of afraid, don't go to other adults or school. They talk to their peers. So the natural helpers, again, are identified by their peers. We do a retreat with them. We actually just did one this morning at Jasper High School, just trying to give them the tools to help them as they're helping their friends or helping other high school students to work through problems, issues. We give them resources. It's very important to help them with self-care. Sometimes we get burned out by always helping other people. It's very important that teens and all of us actually remember to take care of ourselves as well in order to help other people.
As part of Sexual Awareness Month, the idea is awareness. There's a lot of things for people to know, but what is one thing in particular each of you thinks that people don't know and they ought to know?
I think people aren't always aware that help is out there for them, especially outside of the criminal justice system. They can get help at the hospital without it being connected to law enforcement in any way. They can get connected to us, which is free and confidential. So all of their information is safe with us if they choose to tell us.
Okay. Renee?
I just feel it's very important that people aware it's happening. It happens everywhere. We don't have to be in a big city. It's happening locally. It's happening in our schools. And so I feel that the more education, the more that people can learn about it, the more we can become aware about it. Reporting, in the state of Indiana, we are all mandate reporters. So if anyone suspects anything, it doesn't have to be right. You can report it and let the proper authority investigate and decide if it was right or wrong. But it is happening. It happens in all communities and all families, all economic status. So I think that's very important that people realize.
I think we all have stereotypes of what
Yes.
things are, but sometimes it's beyond that. Now, this is going to be, I'm not sure how to ask this question, but what's that line? Isn't that tough for people to determine the line between sexual assault and not sexual assault? Is that difficult for people?
It's actually really simple. If you're not okay with something that happened to you, then you can get help for it. You can report that, and there will be people to support you.
And right there, that's probably what's important. A lot of times you may feel, okay, something's happened to me. I'm alone. There's no one to talk to.
Right.
But there is support because Crisis Connection exists.
Right. We want to be your connection to other services that are out there for you too, as well as keep you connected with your friends and family who would be the best support system that you can have around you.
Okay, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What's the number you can call if you'd like to call for some help or to possibly report something? Of course, if someone is in danger right away, you should call 911.
Right, yes,
Definitely.
yes.
But what if something has happened to you and it's a couple hours later and you're going, I don't feel right about this. What should you do?
Yep, so we are available 24/7 at 1-800-245-4580.
And that's anonymous, confidential?
Anonymous, confidential, free, etc.
Okay, and remember, the point of this exhibit, I'm going back and forth. The point of this exhibit that's at the Tim Clark Cultural Center, which was called what again?
What were you wearing?
Is that it's not always what you think. I think oftentimes blame is placed on the victim.
Yes.
Oh well, sure. If you wear that, that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
That's kind of the point of this exhibit, is it not?
Yes, exactly. It's to dispel myths about how sexual assault happens and to place blame on the proper party, which is who caused the harm. A lot of people think, oh, you shouldn't have been wearing that. You shouldn't have been in that place or with those people or doing that thing. But it can happen to anyone. And if sexual assault was ended just as easily as changing what someone was wearing, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Well, ladies, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No?
I think the important thing is please don't hesitate to contact Crisis Connection if you have a question or if you'd like to make a donation or if something has happened to you that you don't feel right about, call and there is somebody to support and talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Our guests have been Talia Myrick. She is the Sexual Assault and Education Program Coordinator.
Yes.
And we also have had with us Renee Williams. And Renee is a prevention specialist at Crisis Connection.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, ladies, for being on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We are WJTS, local people watching local people.